Hey guys, welcome back to Ignite Motorrad, and this is the start of a new series called Butts of the Saddle.
Now this is a series where our butts will indeed be off the saddle. Yeah, so basically this is a podcast we're starting and we're going to be talking about different topics, trending subjects, and hopefully we'll get some new guys on board as well.
Yeah, so the idea is to actually make this into a series kind of a thing where we can make different episodes and then eventually get the big guys on board.
Yeah, so basically today the topic we're talking about is electric vehicles. So yeah, electric vehicles and petrol vehicles, and what's the scene, what's going on.
So the entire detail, I mean the story behind why we are taking this topic specifically is because in place of this video, we were supposed to shoot the Ola S1 Pro.
Yeah. So what happened was that the test bike which we had, the Ola, it broke down yesterday evening.
It didn't exactly break down.
It didn't break down, it just decided to not work.
Start.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as the owner rightfully said,
it was funny. Yeah.
He fully charged it, but it just didn't start up. And the next news that we saw in the evening was a
Ola on a flatbed pickup truck. It was quite funny, quite amusing.
It's been a weird series of events, I think, because even after that, I think in the evening or at night, you also sent a post that had an Ola on fire.
It burned. There was an Ola. It was an S1 Pro because the S1 they're not getting delivered.
Yeah.
So the base level of the S1 that they're currently selling right now is basically an S1 Pro which has been limited with software.
Yeah, right.
So it was the Pro which caught fire, and you saw the same scooter yesterday. You told me.
Yeah, I actually saw the same.
Exact scooter.
That exact scooter because I remember the L
on it.
Exactly in the center of it. I think I saw it in the morning. In Baugan area.
Right. I think the fire happened in like the early afternoon. I think so. That made sense.
I did see that. I'm not entirely sure it's the same scooter because I mean
you didn't see the plate.
I didn't see the number plate, but the L was right there. They actually put a clip of the Ola burning.
I put it in our group chat, and he's like, I saw this scooter. I was like, shit, okay.
And so that is actually pretty dangerous.
It was very dangerous because like you could see the fire sort of spewing out of the batteries, and electric fires are actually more dangerous because the batteries they simultaneously catch fire, and so they last longer as well.
Basically, I think something to do with the battery's chemical composition which keeps on burning.
It's a chain reaction basically. So once the first one is done burning, it transmits on to the next one and the next one. If you saw Richard Hammond's
exactly
crash, in the Grand
Tour. It actually burned for I think 3 days.
A few days. It burned for a few days because it's really hard to get an electric fire in control, and it's just a very tricky business basically, and you really don't want that to happen to your scooter.
So not even a scooter, I mean even a car.
Anything,
this is something
anything.
That is really hazardous in terms of electric vehicles. That is not being addressed
definitely
much. But I mean, it is also because the Teslas were inherently very reliable that they didn't have this stuff coming up. I mean, I'm not saying that petrol vehicles don't catch fire. I mean, we have seen the MG Hectors after.
We have definitely seen fire incidents, but the thing is that electric is a more emerging field right now. And what they really need is for people to trust the powertrain.
Absolutely,
So that's not happening when people see, because if everything is going smoothly, it's not breaking news, right? Everything is happening, everything is going according to plan.
If I'm being honest, I mean, I've seen this. I think the problem is to do with Ola, and in terms not just Ola's batteries or them catching fire or something. The entire brand, the way they are set up, the way they are delivering orders, it's very messed up.
It is a bit messed up.
Every owner who has bought an Ola or pre-booked it has some or the other issue that I've heard of. Not getting delivered, not getting callbacks from the company for the orders that they have placed.
Not starting and putting it on a pickup truck and sending it back.
So there are a few niggles, at least for Ola. I think Ather is very well established in terms of that.
Ather has been around for a while as well, and I think it's going quite. I haven't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and you guys correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but I haven't heard about an Ather catching fire yet.
No.
I could be wrong. Wrong.
Actually, I'm not aware of this fact. We will do research about this later.
If you know of an Ather that has caught fire, just put it down in the comments here.
So, I don't think that Athers have caught fire, but also the fact that Ather did a lot more testing. They had a lot more testing period than Ola to bring it into the market. So, and they never based it in Pune. So, originally they started in Bangalore. They kept it restricted to Bangalore. So even after people commenting that we want the scooter to reach Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai.
Now they're doing well. I mean, they have showrooms pretty much everywhere. We have the great one in Pune, and their charging stations are set up a lot of places as well.
And we even saw that near Subway. So we have. This is like literally 5 minutes from my place and it's a super
Yeah, there's a Subway 5 minutes from my place too, and that has a Ather dot.
So I'm guessing Subway might have a
tie with Ather, and there's actually a link on their site where you can apply for your hotel to have an Ather dot charger outside.
Okay.
We're actually thinking of getting one in our society too. I don't think I told you, we're like thinking of putting 3 different charging ports for, because there are a lot of electric scooters in our society. There's a few Chetaks, iQubes. I'm not sure about Ola's, but somebody has bought an Ather recently. And
so, as far as the electric concept is actually catching up very quickly. I personally didn't feel that it will catch up because of the fact that the infrastructure is not there.
Yeah, I think the subsidies helped though.
Yeah, subsidies helped there. Yeah. But overall, I thought that this process will be a lot more slow than it is, and I'm glad that it is faster.
Because it just makes sense now.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. I'll just put a question right in front of you right now. If you had to buy a scooter right now, I know we both have our family scooters. You have a Fascino, I have a Jupiter, which we can use. They're going great, nothing wrong with them. Yeah. But if you had to buy a new scooter right now, would it be a petrol scooter or would it be an electric scooter?
So, are you asking me as an enthusiast or are you asking me as a future-proofing guy? Or
no, I'm not asking you to replace your bike.
Yeah.
Obviously, you still have your bike. I'm asking you to replace your scooter.
So, if tomorrow I have to look in the market, what would I buy?
Yeah, would you go petrol or would you go electric?
You're talking about today, right?
Today, right, yes, today.
I'll have to say petrol, but that is also to the fact that I'm a petrol head.
Okay.
So, I do like, I'm not against electric, but I enjoy the feel of having an engine pumping under your feet. But it also really depends on use.
Because I would go electric.
If I were to buy something that was literally going to be used in my locality only, then maybe electric makes sense.
Yeah.
But also one point that is important is the society that I live in doesn't have the infrastructure to charge. As of now.
That's true. And that's actually a very interesting point because one of my friends bought a Jupiter 125 yesterday. I think I just told you a while back before we started shooting, and we were sort of talking for a month about what scooter she should buy. Okay, so I asked her, why aren't you buying an electric one? And because I told her the benefits, the running costs are low, is actually quite quick, and because our college is quite far away, so it does make a lot of sense in the maintenance and fuel area. But the thing that she pointed out, I feel, is a very relatable scenario for a lot of people. The same thing that you said for the society. Our college does not have the infrastructure to charge, and she stays at the hostel.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make sense for a person like that.
Exactly. So why, even if the vehicle is fantastic, there's no maintenance. There is maintenance, but like fuel, you don't have to pay too much for fuel. You have to pay for the electricity, which is obviously a lot cheaper than the petrol.
As I've seen, like you mentioned, but it also depends. If you go to the highest end, like the Aerox, then it's a different situation.
Yeah, but that is a different market. Yeah, that is the enthusiast market.
Yeah, if you consider a Jupiter versus an electric scooter, in the end you are paying less for the petrol scooter. It adds up in petrol costs, obviously.
Exactly.
But it's a big deficit at the moment. Also because it's a newer technology.
It is a newer technology.
So eventually electric will get cheaper. I think like Revolt made a really good job of placing their pricing.
I think the Revolt is around 1 lakh on the road, I think.
Yeah, so they placed it very good. I think even TVS...
Even they're having trouble with deliveries though.
Yeah.
Revolt is having trouble with deliveries.
Deliveries that don't have trouble that I've heard is Chetak and Ather.
Even TVS, iQube is going well, but I don't think iQube has as many orders as the Chetak and Ather do.
Yeah, and it also has a little bit of delivery problem.
It does.
It doesn't have a delivery problem, it just has a waiting time.
Yeah, probably something to do with the semiconductors, honestly.
Or
it might be just something internal with TVS. It could. We can't know at here for sure.
But also because their petrol market is such a big thing versus the TVS iQube, which actually, if I'm being entirely honest, that is not a very huge competitor when compared to all the electric vehicles that are available.
Right.
So for the price and for the feature it offers, it is sort of in a different niche. Because Ather's Chetak is in a similar niche, but it's priced higher and it feels premium.
Biggest selling point for the Chetak, which the other electric two-wheelers don't have, is the seat size. Now this is something that is largely overlooked, and the iQube and Chetak have comparable seats, but like a few people in my society, one of my dad's friends actually bought 4 Chetaks. Yeah, so he bought 4 Chetaks. So one for himself, and he runs a store. So like to get the goods from the warehouse and bring it to the shop, he wanted a vehicle which doesn't have maintenance, so he can give it to the guys working at the shop to bring the stuff at a low cost without petrol ka kharcha. So for him, what he said is, I wanted a big seat, I wanted it to look robust, and we wanted a big scooter, and the Ather wasn't fitting that bill.
Right.
Even though the Ather has been along the longest, it has the best reviews, it's faster than the Chetak, it has more of a range than the Chetak.
But I've heard this from everyone that the Ather feels more compact.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't know if that's a bad thing, but also depends on
it depends on the person.
comfort.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, honestly. I don't mind the Chetak.
If I'm being honest, if I had to buy a electric vehicle, even though Ola seems like a promise, I mean, now it doesn't promise.
No, even when the fire thing hadn't happened, it's just so small.
So
that's my problem. It just looks a bit like a toy for me. Yeah.
My personal choice is the Ather for now.
I agree.
But in the future, I have to say it has to be the F77.
F77, yeah. F7 is fine. Oh, I'm glad we got onto this topic actually. Yeah.
There is another vehicle which actually, just like the Ather, they have done testing for a very long time.
They've been doing it for like, I think 3-4 years, because the initial reviews where they called the press like autocar and power drift, that was in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So it's on YouTube, their reviews are on YouTube, but it's been years since they did that.
But yeah, I mean, I think either they will launch it eventually or they won't, but
they will, because I think I told you this, like the entire ultraviolet team visited my college. They gave a lecture, so like everyone except the founders were there. So Siddharth sir and Anushka ma'am, the design team was there basically. And the first question somebody asked was, where are you starting actually delivering the thing? Okay. So recently they actually got approval for mass production, and they have started mass production.
So I'm guessing they were doing the air testing and the safety testing.
They were doing the safety testing, they were perfecting the deal, and the bike was done in 2017, but then they realized there's so much more. So basically, to fuel up your car or bike takes a few minutes max if you have to wait in queue. To charge up your vehicle, it takes time. Yeah. Even if it's a fast charger, I think it takes half an hour.
More or less, I think
more or less. Yeah, and that is the biggest thing that people are concerned about. That's range anxiety, because in scooters it's very real, because there's only a certain size of battery that you can fit in the scooter.
Yeah.
So the Revolt model, and I think Bounce is doing it as well with the Infinity.
Yeah.
So the swappable infrastructure, I think that could be a way forward.
I think even F77 has the 3.
Yeah, but they're not going to have swapping stations though.
They're not going
to have swapping stations as far as I know.
So I guess it's just for the problem I mentioned with apartment buildings, so you can take those 3 batteries at home, charge.
I think because the F77 has a much bigger battery, obviously, so splitting it into 3 made sense for them, because it's easier to carry, take it upstairs or whatever. And the clever thing about the F77 is batteries add a lot of weight to the vehicle, obviously, and they wanted to create a performance machine. So the batteries are actually part of the frame of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
So when you put it in, it completes the skeleton of the bike from the inside. So effectively, it reduces the weight of the bike as compared to if you did the skeleton plus the batteries, as opposed to the batteries being part of the skeleton.
I guess it's somewhat like the J series engine from the Royal Enfield, which has the engine, has the strong member.
It's like that, definitely. The F77 is definitely going to be promising, but they need to come out with it fast.
Yeah, I mean, the time they launched it, 2017, I think, that was revolutionary at that moment.
I think now the fan has died down a little bit over the years, because they've lost the initial hit that they had with the market, because they called the media. Usually when you call the media, the bike is ready or nearly ready.
Yeah.
Here it was neither of those things. It looked to be ready, but it wasn't.
But I'm guessing, even though when it will come out, now you're saying it, I think a lot of people might still be interested in having that experience.
Oh, definitely.
Because it is going to cater to something that I still have a doubt in, that a sports bike can be made into electric bike because of the weight.
Yeah.
So that is something that I'm really looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to it as well. And one more thing to consider is 4 years ago, the whole electric boom wasn't crazy as it is right now.
Yeah.
So that was one of the.
So you're saying social awareness about
awareness, and the people now know the benefit, because fuel prices were much less 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Much lower. It's what, 109.50 I think yesterday I checked.
Actually, I generally fuel from Shell, and that's around 160.
Yeah, I'm not rich. Yeah, so so basically fuel is very expensive. And now, then I don't know what was it 4 years ago. It was definitely a lot less. I don't have a number though. If you know the fuel prices from 4 years ago.
Before COVID it was 87.
And
And
I'm saying
earlier
2 years
was
before
65.
COVID. Yeah, that okay.
So that is nearly
It's half the price. It's half the price. So now why electric? Because people environment वगैरह वो सब ठीक है. I mean, but what people really care about.
Environment is something I will talk about in another podcast.
We'll make
because
another
it's very
podcast.
controversial.
It is.
Because they're still saying that producing those electric vehicles is
Takes
still
more energy. And
yeah.
More, yeah.
So
That's a different topic.
That's a different topic.
We will cover it
soon.
But very soon.
That is not for something today. But let's talk about finally the question.
Let's
electric
conclude.
or
Yeah.
petrol.
Okay. So let's just conclude this. You would buy fuel scooter right now?
No. So the thing is, 10 years back, I would have said that 20 years more,
Yeah.
Electric won't come on.
Okay.
But it's just been
preceding
5
your
years.
expectations.
Yeah. So in terms of technology, in terms of everything that has come, I think the biggest hit was the battery, the lithium-ion batteries and everything. That the technology that they brought in that really helped boost this sector. So I think, yeah, 5 years down the line, I might consider electric, but
Not
for
now.
now, I'm sticking to petrol.
You're sticking to petrol. See, that's funny because I would get an electric scooter right now. I would get not a bike. I'm making it very clear. I am keeping my Pulsar even in this hypothetical situation that we're in right
No,
now.
I'm considering for a new vehicle. So if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
were to buy a new vehicle,
No, aside your Pulsar.
petrol.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Even for a car, I'd rather stick to petrol for now.
I don't drive as much as you, so I don't really care about what car I have. I mean, so I would get an Ather 450X because I had a lot of fun testing it. It's fast as shit, bro. It's really quick. I was very
But
fun.
the only thing is, you can't take it riding. I mean, even in the worst case scenario,
I'm keeping my Pulsar for riding.
No, even in the worst case scenario, when I didn't have my bike, I actually came on a Fasino and
You
I
did?
wasn't worried about where I was going to stop.
You won't. We actually did that, right? It was me on my Pulsar, it was Aryan on his R15 and you on your Fasino.
And I was chasing them.
And you weren't as far back as I thought you were going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I was pushing.
You were keeping up, definitely.
But I was, at one point, I was actually scared. Okay, I need to slow down.
You need to slow down, yeah. You need to slow down.
But regardless, I mean,
I would get an Ather right now, definitely. Because I mean, the chargers are coming up in my society.
Yeah.
There's chargers nearby.
it makes sense if you have the infrastructure, obviously,
Right.
but then again, it also matters what use you have. Obviously,
in the city, I would use the electric. For college, my college is 21 kilometers away.
You still
I still might use the Ather actually because that is where most of my fuel goes. So I can make a combination between the bike and the scooter. So
Yeah.
I would get an electric scooter.
But then again, if you're talking about fuel, the scooters that we get are half the price and they are a lot more fuel efficient than a Pulsar.
But my Pulsar is fun.
See, I am not a scooter person.
Yeah.
I won't replace anything for my motorcycle.
See, the thing is, the scooter is a lot slower than the Pulsar, obviously.
Yeah.
On the highway, it makes a really big difference. I go on the and see, like 70% of my commute is the highway.
Yeah.
So it will make a big difference, and my mom needs the scooter, obviously.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess the conclusion is that
he would get petrol, I would get electric. But I don't know how much you've learned from that.
but you know more of us.
Yes.
Now.
And you know our perspectives on this whole matter, and we will dive more into detail about the environment, as you said. And yeah, see you in the next episode.
Cheers.